Hey friends, welcome to Creative DIY Purpose. Thank you for stopping by today. It's hard to believe that it's been over a year since I made my last video. I have missed you all very much and I am so happy to be back. Today I will share photos of a few of my recent upcycle projects, tell you what my top 5th selling item is, and show you a tutorial on how I create them. I opened a booth in a local antique mall a few months after my husband passed away, and it's been amazing, and it's definitely kept me on my toes. My younger kids help me restock and set up vignettes each week. It's been a great learning experience for us. We've made beautiful new friends, and it has pushed me out of my comfort zone as I'm now a furniture artist, and I actually paint with other colors besides white. And if you followed my channel before, you know that that was my go-to paint color. Over the next few weeks, I will share my vendor booth's top 5 best-selling upcycled items. Today, we'll look at number 5, which is upcycled glass bottles. First, I want to share photos of a few of my upcycled glass items that I've sold. Ideas for decorating and designing on glass bottles could be anything from hand painting designs, applying water slide decals, air dried clay, raised stencils, rice paper designs, freezer paper transfers, using printed napkins or printed tissue paper, applying rub-on transfers, distressing paint, applying colored wax, using vinyl decals, and even using textured paint. I would say my favorite is definitely using ink stamps. You can apply multiple options to create a unique, one-of-a-kind mixed media work of art. And here's a list for you if you'd like to take a screenshot and save for later. So now let's begin a step-by-step prep and paint process. Here's a list of today's supplies if you'd like to take a screenshot. The number one best tip that I can give you to create a durable, long-lasting finish on all of your glass projects is to make sure that your glassware is clean and it's residue-free, and you can even wipe it down with some rubbing alcohol, and then you're ready to prime it. I either use Dixie Belle Slick Stick or a coat or two of gesso, and both work to help adhere the paint right onto your glassware. They're both excellent primers. Then my next tip is to make sure that both coats of the primer dry before you're applying your paint. Here I'm using Sawmill Gravy on one of them from Dixie Belle, and then the other one just a white paint from Apple Barrel, and that one is acrylic. And then the next tip is to apply 2 thin coats, allowing them to dry in between. Don't be afraid to add some water to your paint if you feel it's a little too thick and you want a smoother surface. As long as that primer has had a chance, a few hours or whatever your directions say, to adhere and dry, you are good to go. Or you can create texture using thicker paint, using brush strokes that are going both vertical, horizontal, every which way. And you can even add a little baking soda into your paint. So for these bottles, I decided to go with some simple ink stamps. I believe that these are IOD. I know my ink pad and my ink is IOD. It dries super quick. I've never had a problem with the ink smearing, unless I moved the ink stamp too soon, which I've done on several occasions. We're going to apply the bird on the front and then go around on the back side and apply the bumblebee stamp. So I'm going to try to do some wet distressing. I've got a baby wipe. I don't know if you guys can see it, but down at the bottom of the bottle, there's some raised lettering. And I want to be really careful because I don't want to take too much of the paint off of it. And boy, there's a really fine line. Because if you make your cloth too damp or press too hard, you can get a big chunk of paint off of it. If the wet distressing isn't working, you see here I'm using my fingernail. Normally what I would do is get a nail file. And that works really well because it's fine grit sandpaper and a nice firm surface. And I took my thumbnail here and you'll see I got a little too much paint off. And I wasn't very happy about that, so I decided to stop, go get some fine grit sandpaper because I couldn't find my nail file. And that way I could distress the back. One of the reasons that I like to do that over the lettering is it really makes it pop. And I think it adds to the vintage vibe. And plus they sell really quick. So I figure, hey, if it works, keep on doing it. And now for the back, I'm going to apply the bumblebee stamp. The two most popular themes in my booth that sell are anything with bumblebees and anything with birds. And that's how simple this one bottle was. And I want to say it sold within a week. I didn't add any ribbon, any embellishments. I don't even think I put greenery in there. For this next bottle, we are going to get a little bit more detailed because we're going to be adding some wax. But first, I'm going to add this small bird ink stamp that I picked up from the Dollar Tree probably about 2 or 3 years ago. Now for the other side of the bottle, I chose 3 stamps from the Rose Toile set, and that is also from IOD. Another option that you have when working with glassware is to create a mixed media piece, which is a lot of fun. If you guys stick with me to the end, I will share a really cool tutorial on how I created one of those pieces, which sold quickly as well. It's time for dark wax. I did use the DIY brand dark wax, but I've also used the antiquing wax from Waverly. You're going to get the same overall look. I'm applying the wax with a really thin brush, trying to get into those areas that I knew that a cloth with wax wouldn't be able to reach. One recommendation that'll give you, if you want better control over dark wax, especially if it's on a textured surface, you're going to want to apply clear wax first to be able to wipe that dark wax back. Here I didn't care. I kind of wanted a darker look. Next, I'll take a lint-free cloth and try to pull that dark wax out of those deep areas and pull it all the way around the bottle to add some shadowing, a little bit more texture. Once you're happy with the overall look, it's time to add your sealer or your top coat. You're going to want at least 2 coats. I did use gator hide, and I try to do that a lot with my bottles because you want the product to have a durable finish. And guys, that's it. It's that simple. You don't have to use a vintage bottle. You can go right in your kitchen and grab any empty glass bottle. If you would like to check out the written version of this tutorial, the link is right up above and below in the description. Don't forget, if you haven't, to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification because you are not going to want to miss next Sunday's video where I share with you what my top 4th best-selling item is. Friends, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to reach out to me below in the comment section and say hello. And here's that video link that I promised you earlier on the mixed media bottle. I hope that you have a super blessed week, and I will see you next Sunday.